Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with a 2-page layout using, for the majority, the Fall Farmhouse collection from Simple Stories. I do have an older, I guess it's kind of like an embossed paper pad from Michael's, I believe, that is that cream color paper on the background. And I'm doing just a little bit of mixed media. So my hope was by kind of doing the smooshing technique that the embossing on the layout would kind of show through. And it worked kinda, I guess. Like I didn't do a ton of it, but it did work a little bit. And in the final video, or on the final layout, you can see the embossing. I did then want to go through and kind of just splatter out from the smushing a little bit. And so that is what I did. I have this cut file from Paige Evans. I don't know if this is one of her free ones or if it was in last year's fall collection, fall kind of pack that she offers. But I thought this was perfect for this layout. We, one, did a corn maze and 2 did a hayride. And I think that is 2 of the different options on this, I don't know what it is, fence post maybe, with all the different directions. So I thought that was really cute. I decided to skip ahead to page 2 because I needed page 1 to dry a little bit. And so I decided to kind of do strips going up and down the layout here. You can see I have 1, a ton of stuff, and 2 is just kind of a mess. The 6x8 paper pad fell apart. So this is just kind of what is left over from that. And so I just kind of wanted to see what other paper patterns I could kind of include. And with the 6x8, I knew that if I placed my photos kind of in the middle there, I could get away with the 6x8 paper by cutting it in half and just lining it up. But I also had some washi tape, and so I decided that would be a great way to utilize the washi tape as well. And so I do use 2 different washi tapes in my strips here. I wanted to make sure that one was straight, which I don't think it technically is, but it's okay. It's close enough, I guess. And then I guess I decided not to have that piece be ripped. Obviously you can kind of see where it was ripped, but I just end up placing my photo over top of that. So that kind of just helped me figure out, I guess, where my photos needed to be to cover that up. So you can see I did the second strip of washi, and then I'm going to use the wood grain 6x8 paper here. And I could have kept going, especially using the 6x8 papers, because I do just line up my 2 photos here on top of each other, so I had quite a bit of space to keep going. I just decided not to, for whatever reason. And then because I have had this paper pad for quite a while, I had to figure out what I was doing with that paper. I decided to go in and use it for backing. It's just such a different kind of off-white color that I wanted it to match. And quite honestly, like I said, I've had it for years probably at this point. I haven't really used it, so I figured I might as well use it up, even if it is just for backing. And then I just backed the 2 photos as well. I did use a little bit of, I left a little bit of a gap in between my photos. I don't always, but I do like how it kind of separates the photos a little bit. So then going back to page 1, I decided to obviously tape down what I had, and then this is what is left over from backing on the other photo, or on the other page, sorry. And I kind of backed it the exact same way, the same papers. It just worked. Brought in some of that kind of blue coloring as well, which I used for the cut file here. I believe I used paprika for the smushing technique, and then Harbor for the cut file. So sorry, knew I was doing 2 pages, but I had it zoomed in just for the 1 page. So I had to zoom out a little bit so you guys could see both pages kind of sitting next to each other. I decided to use what was left of the wood grain paper and do some layers behind this photo just to bring in some of the patterns from page 2 as well, and use up some of my scraps. You saw that I have just so many 6x8 paper scraps that I just wanted to kind of use some up because I have so much of this collection. So this is going to kind of be how the base of page 1 is. But then I realized I didn't really like how plain page 2 was, so I decided to add a little smushing to this page as well. This one didn't work out as well. Some of the tape got left on the paper. That's my fault. I could have taken it off. And I just wanted a little bit. I didn't feel like I needed it to be as dark, but just kind of wanted it to be cohesive between the two. So while that dries, I am going to embellish page 1. I have these little bows that are on paper clips, but I don't like using the paper clips, and the bows come off quite easily, so I just took the bow off, and then just went through everything I have. I have the chipboard, I have, I think, both ephemera packs, the bows, the sticker sheet, just everything. So I kind of played around with what I thought I wanted. I did really like that kind of wheelbarrow with the pumpkins, and so I am going to end up using that. And then I got into, this is more like a journaling ephemera pack, and so there is that fall little circle piece, but then there are some little journaling cards, and I thought it would be nice just to kind of add the date, where we're at, that kind of thing. I didn't feel like I really needed to add a lot of journaling. I feel like the photos kind of speak for themselves, although it doesn't say where we're at, so I will probably just add the date and just obviously a little bit because that's all the space I left. And really those 2 clusters is going to pretty much finish out the embellishing for page 1. So then once I got page 2 pieced back together, then I am going to work on those embellishment clusters, and really, I felt like I kept it quite simple. I love that little bucket of flowers with the pumpkins, but knew I wanted to add something else to it. So there were some great phrase sticker options, and actually that hayride was a piece of ephemera, but I wanted to add something else to that as well. So I added the sticker that says my favorite season, and then I just decided to do one kind of, I guess maybe larger cluster to the top left. Usually I do kind of a triangle effect with my embellishment clusters, but with this page and how the layout is, I guess, put together where the photos are, there wasn't really another good option, I didn't feel like, for a third cluster. So I'm just going to add or leave the 2 there. So one thing I struggle with when I do fall layouts is getting the word fall or getting the word autumn on my layouts too much. So you see that I have the fall on the right hand page, so I am actually going to end up switching out the fall on the first page under that bow. I do that later on, I think. I do spruce up the fall a little bit more, and you could see that I tried to add that third cluster to the right, but just did not like the way that that looked. So I'm going to spruce this up with some leaves, kind of sprinkle them around the title, and then go back to page 1, I believe, and switch out the fall. Luckily there was another circle piece of ephemera that said farm fresh, and so I decided just to switch that out because, like I said, I struggle with getting those with fall and autumn on my layouts too much when it comes to fall layouts, so I wanted to switch that out. But here are some close-ups, and that is where you can see kind of that embossed paper that I use for my background paper. And you can kind of see the words and stuff popping through. Up close, I'm sure that you could see the exact phrase or whatnot, but I do like how you can see it a little bit at least popping through. So that is going to finish off this layout. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.